Okay, we are live, okay. Yeah.
Dear Esther, I have lost track of how long I have been here and how many visits I have made overall. Certainly the landmarks are now so familiar to me that I have to remind myself to actually see the forms and shapes in front of me. I could stumble blind across these rocks, the edges of these precipices, without fear of missing my step and plummeting down to sea. Besides, I have always considered that if one is to fall, it is critical to keep one's eyes firmly open.
Okay. Hello everybody, this is Kings with the stream of Dear Esther Landmark Edition by Chinese Games. Dear Esther's like a walking simulator style game, similar to games like Firewatch just got released. It's similar to this, and Nero came out a while ago. It's sort of a walking sim. I don't know how much I'll be playing this, but do a good amount of the stream, or good amount of the game for a stream. Not a super long game, so we'll just see how it goes.
There was once talk of a wind farm out here, away from the rage and the intolerance of the masses. The sea, they said, is too rough for the turbine. They really never came here to experience the becalming for themselves. Personally, I would have supported it. Turbines would be a fitting contemporary refuge for a hermit. The revolution and the permanence.
Whenever those queues come up, I will be quiet during those for anyone interested in the story of Dear Esther. But like I said, it launched yesterday. At the moment, it's $10 USD. I believe it's actually 20% off at the moment. So that's not bad.
I have found the ship's manifest, crumpled and waterlogged under a stash of paint cans. It tells me that along with this present cargo, there was a large quantity of antacid yogurt bound for the European market. It must have washed out to sea. God knows there are no longer gulls or goats here to eat it.
Another thing to note about this port of Dear Esther, its achievements are fairly easy too. 4 of them are for just beating the various chapters, one's for a certain amount of steps, 2 of them are death related, which you can get early on, and the other 3 are collectible based, which aren't that bad. One of the collectibles is just for finding all of the dialogue, which you'll get 90% just by playing through the game, and there's a few hidden ones. Then there's director's commentary, which is pretty much similar to this, except you play with director's commentary on. Similar to how Gone Home had theirs, where you would go through through the house, finding various, I don't know how this game has it set up, but in Gone Home you'd find various bulbs that would give you insight to the developer's commentary while they were making the game. Then the final collectible within this game is a bunch of urns, which I will be going for how many ever I find. There's one in each level, so there's 4 urns. I will be finding those while playing. Like I said earlier, I don't know how long exactly I will be
The
streaming.
lounge is clearly the focal point of
I'll be
this
quiet.
landscape.
This.
It almost appears so well placed as to be artificial. I find myself easily slipping into the delusional state of ascribing purpose, deliberate motive to everything here. Was this island formed during the moment of impact? When we were torn loose from our moorings and the seatbelts cut motorway lanes into our chests and shoulders, did it first break surface then?
But like I said, I don't know how long I'll be streaming. Ed, another one for Ed from Player 2 Reviews, who
When
will.
someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this: to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
I wonder if there's a way to get down to that. Well, like I was saying, Ed is planning on playing Firewatch, which launched today, and he's streaming that around 7 or so. So whenever he's about to go live, I'll be getting off, so.
We are not like Lot's wife, you and I. We feel no particular need to turn back. There's nothing to be seen if we did. No tired old man parting the cliffs with his arms. No gifts or Bibles laid out on the sand for the taking. No tides turning or the shrieking gulls overhead. The bones of the hermit are no longer laid out for the taking. I have stolen them away to the guts of this island, where the passages all run to black, and where we can light each other's faces by their strange luminescence.
Like always, if anyone would like to talk in the chat, go ahead. You don't have to, but you're more than welcome to. Must not be able to go up the further of this hill. There is no jump button. Every button on the keyboard except for the analogs. Yep, keyboard. Keyboard, yep. Nice. This is a nice keyboard I got here. On the controller, self-deprecation at its best, as mockery of the oneself after the keyboard that I'm using. I'm gonna just call it that all the time now. Every button on the controller, besides the analog sticks and the pause button, will zoom. So you are stuck to just anything that you can surpass. Can't like jump up that mountain, can't jump over the fences. I am a bid to the boundaries that they have set me upon my path.
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
Back over this way. Cool. The boat over there looks kind of cool, but I think that if you enter, like, not right away, but I think that water would be too deep that the Agnes would drown. That's one of the secret achievement, but that's one of the death-related achievements is to drown. You'll probably notice me going for one of the other death-related achievements as well for falling, but I have not found a place that will allow that. From up there, there was fences that aligned the whole ridge.
I dreamt I stood in the center of the sun, and the solar radiation cooked my heart from the inside. My teeth will curl, and my fingernails fall off into my pockets like loose change. If I could stomach, I'd eat, but all I seem capable of is salt water. Were the livestock still here, I could turn feral and gorge. I'm as emaciated as a body on a slab, opened up for a premature source of death. I've rowed to this island in a heart without a bottom, all the bacteria of my gut rising up to sing to me.
If I remember correctly, there is an urn around here. Is this it? That's a rock. Maybe up that path. There's a death related for falling. I wonder if that would kill me. Oh, hey, sure, it did.
Come back.
There's that one. There's an easy place in the first level. You can get the drowning achievement for literally instantaneously after you spawn. You can just turn around and drown. The urn has to be here somewhere. The book there. That's chemistry book. Here's the urn. One thing I've noticed from reading from the regular Dear Esther and from this one, as it really didn't change, except for the director's commentary, I believe, is the lack of a run button makes a lot of people angry because it is slow moving, especially when moving uphill. But this game also is pretty short, so it's not like the end of the world. I'm not sure if it... I wanted to check that cave out, but I'm not sure if this is the way to the exit or if that cave was. If not, if this takes me to the second level, I can always replay it later, and there is a chapter select if you ever just want to go back to a level, which I found odd for this kind of game, but... Okay. You all be thy own. This looks kind of like the way to go, so I'm gonna check out that cave all the way back there. Here's where the Benny Hill music needs to play while I fast forward, so I can get to the cave and then come back. I apologize if I sound melancholy, I don't mean to. I am just on the quieter end at the moment. I guess with this, at least, two good things are happening. One, I'm working towards my 5,000 steps needed, and I had to get up on that ridge right there before the... Here cannot. Hopefully this doesn't kill me, but getting in my 5,000 steps for the achievement. Plus, my character is getting great cardio. Always the important things, kids. Class A comedy right here at the King's stream. Class A comedy. An aspect that I have been enjoying about this game, like them about most walking sims,
I find myself increasingly unable to find that point where the hermit ends and Paul and I begin. We are woven into a sodden blanket, stuffed into the bottom of a boat to stop the leak and hold back the ocean. My neck aches from staring up at the aerial. It mirrors the dull throb in my gut where I am sure I've begun to form another stone. In my dreams, it forms into a perfect representation of Lot's wife, head over her shoulder, staring along the motorway at the approaching traffic in a vacuum of fatalistic calm.
Like I was saying before the dialogue came up, since this is the main point, Paulvin, I'll just call you Paul. Paul, this is Dear Esther's Landmark edition. This is on the Xbox One at the moment. This game is also on Steam and I believe the PlayStation 4. Dear Esther as it is, I think is free, but the Landmark edition's $10. I'm not sure about on computer or anything. But Dear Esther Landmark edition. A cool little walking sim. Very casual. Gives me like reminiscence of like Stanley Parable and stuff like that, like walking sims of that, where there's just like an overarching voice talking to you while you stroll through scenery. Back to the aspect I was talking about that I really enjoy is just the graphics of walking sims, in my opinion, are phenomenal. I mean, I know there's not a whole lot of other, but the environment's just so pristine, so nice, very enjoyable. I believe this game was released back in 2008 when it first came out. So it's kind of an older title, but game's not bad. The upper res version looks very pretty. When I get an opportunity, I just noticed that... Oh, there's a loading screen. This is perfect opportunity. The gameplay never changed. What the title was called never changed, so...
Dear Esther,
that real quick.
I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turnoff for Sanford and the welcome brake services, but although I can always see it in my rearview mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
There we go. It should be fixed. If you guys still don't see what it is, you can always refresh, but I fixed the issue. That over there. Trash can. Bunch of trash. The one thing about this game that you do have to do is if you're looking for all the gamer score, which again it's not that long, is you do need to play through it twice. You need to play through it once to get all the dialogue for the game. You need to play it another time to get all the director's commentaries, which I mean is not too bad. The game's pretty short. I beat the first level even with having to backtrack in like 20 minutes. So Dr. Phil, this game, as far as I'm seeing, there's not really puzzle
There must be a hole
aspects.
in the bottom of the boat. How else could new hermits have arrived?
There's not like puzzles that I see. It just seems like this game is big on exploration because just if you follow the path, you'll get the story. But like right here, this tanker right here, going. I believe this is out of the way. It didn't look like it was following the main path, and just exploring to find it is the big like aspect of this game. Is exploring this island and.
I had kidney stones, and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk. When I first looked into the shaft, I swear I felt the stones in my stomach shift in recognition.
I'm guessing this is the big pit they talk about that you can fall into for the achievement. And I'm not too sure if I'm going the way to complete it or if I feel like since I'm going up to that house, I should go explore a little bit more. Oh, we just hit 30 viewers. That's pretty cool. From what I've seen, back to your question, Dr. Phil, there isn't an interact button as far as I'm aware. I haven't ran into anything that uses an interact button, so I would not believe there to be puzzles. But again, I could be wrong. I've never played Dear Esther. This is my first experience with it in this version or in the previous version that was released, but It's enjoyable. It's a cool game. Pick it up for $8 right now if you want it on Xbox. Not sure on PS4 prices or Steam prices. The non definitive edition this is, I believe the original version used to be free to play. I should check that, but take 2 seconds. I'm just walking forward. Yeah. The game was originally released as free to play. When it was released in 2008, so I'm sure you could still find that version for free to play. If not, like I said, it's $8, so it's not too bad.
It's only at night that this place makes any sluggish effort at life. You can see the buoy and the aerial. I've been taking to sleeping through the day in an attempt to resurrect myself. I can feel the last days drawing upon me. There's little point now in continuation. There must be something new to find here. Some nook or some cranny that offers a perspective worth clinging to. I've burnt my bridges. I've sunk my boats and watched them go to water.
Oh no, there's no waypoints. Pause does that. Every other button zooms. There's like no map, no nothing. You just have to feel with like, you just have to explore if you want to find a bunch of stuff. Like you'll know you're not going the right way whenever you come to a, like, when I was up on that ridge over there, there was no further way to go, so turn around, walk somewhere else. The one thing, like, it's not bad. Not having waypoints, like, it feels more immersive not having waypoints, in my opinion, but the only thing that strikes me as odd for a game of this caliber, which isn't bad if you want to, like, replay, like, one of your favorite parts, but each, like, section, like how I'm on level 2 right now, each section in the main menu is broken up into chapters, which I find very odd. But the one I keep saying that, but I keep bringing up multiple points. The thing that strikes me more, like, which strikes me
I've begun my ascent on the green slope of the western side. I've looked deep into the mountain from the shaft and understood that I must go up and then find the way under. I will stash the last vestiges of my civilization in the stone walls and work deeper from there. I'm drawn by the aerial and the cliff edge. There is some form of rebirth waiting for me there.
The thing that I was going to mention was the game saves at the end of every chapter, so there's no save points at all in the game. You make it through the chapter, then you can start at the beginning of that chapter again, or start at the beginning of the next chapter. There's no starting in the middle of the chapter. Here's another place.
The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either.
Oh geez, 42. Breaking up an all-time high. Thanks, guys.
My heart is landfill. These false dawns waking into the still never light. I sweat for you in the small hours and wrap my blankets into a mass. I have always heard the waves break on these lost shores, always the gulls forgotten. I can lift this bottle to my ear, and all there ever is for me is this Hebridean music.
Not gonna lie to you guys, that bird scared the hell out of me, so. Chalk it up to this game too, has some jump scares. Yeah. Plus plus. I don't know why it scared me at all, like. Thing I wanna, I guess I'll plug since, you know, a bird in a non-horror game scared me. We at Player 2 Reviews in October. At least I plan to. I'm gonna be streaming some nice old horror games, so. You guys like hearing a grown-ass man scream out over nothing for an hour and a half? I want to check those out. I feel like I'm going to fall, and this is...
In a footnote, the editor comments that at this point, Donnelly was going insane as syphilis tore through his system like a drunk driver. He's not to be trusted. Many of his claims are unsubstantiated, and although he does paint a colourful picture, much of what he says may have been derived directly from his fever. But I've been here, and I know, as Donnelly did, that this place is always half imagined. Even the rocks and caves will shimmer and blur with the right eyes.
One of the games I know I'm going
They found
to...
Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen nerves and had not even begun to decompose. All around him, small flowers were reaching for the weak sun. The goats had adjusted happily to life without a shepherd and were grazing freely about the valley. Donnelly reports they hurled the body in fear and disgust down the shaft, but I cannot corroborate this story.
There's the second urn. One of the games I do plan on playing in October is Emily Wants to Play. It's one of the latest reviews that I did on Player 2 Reviews. It's a nice small indie horror game made by a guy named Sean Hitchcock. He is as far as I'm aware from everything I've read, he is the sole developer on it, and it's pretty good. If you'd like to read my reviews, go to Player 2 Reviews. It should be the top thing at the moment. But, yeah. Playing that, because I haven't streamed that yet. I was going to save it for October. And, I mean, there's a lot of nice horror games on the Xbox One, PC, and all that, so... got a lot of stuff I could stream. I could download the park again and stream that, but I already streamed that once. We'll have
Climbing
to
down
see.
to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves. winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
Spooky cave. I'm backtracking a lot. I should go check to see if that cave over there has something, because I thought last time that the cave had a meaning to it, and it really did not. It looks from, unless the two later levels get a little longer, it looks like each of these levels take about 20 minutes piece. So 4 levels, 80 minutes. So you can beat through the game just on that in hour and a half, hour and 20 minutes, but hour and a half, given a little bit of time for loading screens and all that fun stuff. Cave looks like it actually might be. It is the next level. Well, the siphon hole that it was sucked me in. Moving on to level 3.
Here, this last time, I have understood there is no turning back. The torch is failing along with my resolve. And hear the singing of the sea creatures from the passages above me, and they are promising the return of the gulls. It was as if someone had taken the car and shaken it like a cocktail. The dove compartment had been opened and emptied with the ashtrays and the boot. It made for a crumpled museum, a shattered exhibition.
Oh, that's the way I came, isn't it? That's the way I came, I believe. How do I go? Unless this is just a side room. I'll go back here. Oh yeah, it looks like... I don't remember if I don't remember walking down this steep of a path, so... Must be the way to head. So anyone that would like to say, how's this game look in your opinion? Do you think it looks pretty interesting? I think the narrative's pretty good, but Interested in what all you guys have to think about it. Feel free, anyone can say anything. Say whatever you want in the chat, just as long as you're not extremely rude or anything. Don't be a jerk. Like I might cut into Ed's streaming time a little bit if I stream the whole game, but nobody tell Ed that. Might take some of his time away from him. For anyone that's here still at the end, I figured I'd just let you know that I will provide a link to Ed's thing for when he goes live.
I am traveling through my own body, following the line of infection from the shattered femur towards the heart. I swallow fistfuls of painkillers to stay lucid. In my delirium, I see the twin lights of the moon and the Ariel shining to me through the rocks.
This is the first cave that I've encountered. There was like a funnel-esque siphon hole that sucked me down into it. The other two levels, this is the third level in the game, the other two levels have been on a island. Is that the urn? That is the urn. Ooh, cool. This is, you're actually right, this is Cave Simulator. It's the new line of Train Simulator and Plane Simulator. They just made one called Cave Simulator. Game comes included with like, you know, like the flight pad and stick that you get with when you get like flight simulators like that. This game comes with its own like foot pad that feels like caves and like the cave floor and rocks and stuff like that. And then it also comes with a thing you put over the top of your head that feels like a stalactite dripping on your head. Very immersive. If I had a camera, you guys can see I'm like in this like whole like tube-esque thing that looks like a chemical shower that came with this game. Game's $8.99, but when you get the stuff shipped to you, it costs like $300 to get the stuff shipped to you. My apologies, Kellen. I didn't mean to make that sound satire-ish. That's where they get you though. They're like, oh, the game's $8.99. Free shipping and handling with the game, but he wants a cave simulator aspect. Again, my apologies, Kellen. I'm not trying to be satire towards you. I was just trying to make a joke. Can I not go up this like thing that looks like there's like, I don't even know what to say this one. Hey, Psycho. Psycho Bald Ryan, or even. Oh, you beard too. This game.
When I was coming round
I'll wait out till it says done, and then I'll read the.
Must
just be like the deepest fucking thing in the world.
It was like staring up at a moonlit sky from the bottom of a well.
Yep, it is. Am I sinking? Oh, I sure am. Well, we're going down, guys. Oh, I can swim back to the surface. Oh. Now the only other question is, can I get out of this damn thing? Are we stuck in here? Oh, I'm floating now. Uh, Again, hello, Psycho. Beard. The game's not too trippy. This cave gives it a very weird aspect to it. The island looked very surreal and really nice, but this cave, I get what you mean. Like, especially these cave drawings everywhere. This game's a lot of vibrant colors I wouldn't expect to see in a cave going on right now. I also have my brightness up pretty good, and parts of this cave's still pretty dark. So if it's ever too dark, let me know. What is my brightness at? Checking the video. Oh, my brightness is only about halfway. If you guys think it's too dark, let me know. I'll increase the brightness. In the afterlife. I am not sure about the story of Dear Esther. That's one thing you could think about it, because every time you die, it just like the narrator says, "Hey, come back," and this game rated 1 to 10. I enjoy walking simulators. I find they're pretty nice. With the aesthetics and everything, I'm gonna fall. Yep. Can't go behind that. With the aesthetics and everything, if I had to give this game a rating, seven or 8. I don't think it's too bad. Answering your question, Paul, looking at some of these trippy things, the narrator may be dead? Question mark? I don't know. From what he's saying, from what I took it first before all these, like, some of these trippy things that keep going on, it sounds like he's looking for his wife, or whomever Esther is, to him. Yeah, Droden. Yeah, I'd say 7 or 8 out of 10. The one fallback with this game, again, it's $10 right now, which isn't too bad in my opinion. It is short though, and I think that's why. And you have to like walking sims. If you're not somebody that like can just sit through an experience, I wouldn't say this is the game for you. But if you kind of like a person that's into movies, spend an hour and a half, 2 hours into a movie, that's the same way with this game is. You'll hear a story and all that fun stuff. Just one note, thank you, Psycho, for the follow. Oh, I believe. Thank you. Yep. I do. With what? Saying just for since you subscribed, I figured I'd tell you, Psycho. I write for a company known as Player 2 Reviews, and when we get review copies, the ones I get, I usually stream when I can get around to it. Like this game came out yesterday, and I was just able to stream today. But I did receive another game called Virginia that's coming out.
I sat here and watched 2 jets carve parallel white lines into the sky. They charted their course, and I followed them for 21 minutes.
Virginia
until
comes
they
up
turned off
tomorrow,
near Sanford.
so I'll probably be streaming that. It's supposed to be a
If I were
nice,
to go,
like,
I would abandon my nest and join them.
it says to be, like,
Starve
described as,
my
like,
brain
Twin
of
Peaks and
oxygen
stuff like that.
Suffer delusions of transcendence. I would tear the bottom from my boat and sail across the motorways until I reached this island once again.
Virginia looks really cool, in my opinion, so I'm eager to check this out. I'm gonna check that way around the right real quick before. Thank you also to the Conqueror. Thank you again to the Conqueror for also subscribing. Beard, your voice along with a voice along with this game is like watching a Bob Ross painting. Thank you. Unfortunately, I will be not painting any happy little trees though at the moment, but I never know. Maybe next stream. Next stream we'll just watch Bob Ross videos the whole time for anyone that wants to come back, okay? There's a can of paint. Maybe this is a Bob Ross painting. I know it was a compliment, Beard. I was just making a joke. Painting happy little trees. What was I? Sorry about the stopping, guys. Why'd I go this way? I should have went the other way. Check it out. This place looks ginormous. Thank you for the compliment, Beard, by the way. I don't want to sound like a dick and make a joke about it. I do appreciate it.
With a pocket full of stolen ash. Half of it fell out of my coat and vanished into the car's upholstery. But the rest I carefully stowed away in a box I kept in a drawer by the side of my bed. It was never intended as a meaningful act, but over the years it became a kind of talisman. I'd sit still, quite still for hours, just holding the diminishing powder in my palm and noting its smoothness. In time, we will all be worn down into granules, washed into the sea and dispersed.
Oh my god, there's all of these partisans right here. Yeah, the music's very vibrant. Vibrant would be more of the colors, but the music has a very nice aesthetic that pairs with the game very well. I think this might be there. Last turn. If any of you guys play this game and go through the collectibles, even if you find the urn, make sure you give a little tip. Watch the ashes float away before just leaving it. I'm unaware if I should continue this path or if I should go check out the left side to see what it is. This seems like this is continuing down the path. And just for the hell of it, I'll walk all the way back. See what's on the left one, just take a little bit more of time since this is near the end of the game. Am I stuck down here? Have I chose my path and have to stay upon this path? It looks like I may have. Oh no, there's a path over this way. Watch the left side and I'll be the one, and I was like 1 inch away from the like corner of that one. This game reminds me a lot of not like visually or like gameplay wise, but just the surreal, like peaceful aspect reminds me a lot of called reminds me a lot of Nero, but like Nero had more of like a puzzle aspect compared to this one. This game also, like, just the like nice surreal like narrative reminds me a lot of the Telltale series too. Like, obviously the Telltale has more like, once you get to the side, like the stories are more personal and all that, but I find this game just, I love Telltale games, and like this game just reminds me of the surreal, like surrealness of it. Telltale Walking Dead, as depressing as those games are, still are my favorite. Reminds me, I need to play through those games. Oh, if I can do. Any of you guys big fans of Telltale? Whether Walking Dead, Wolf Among Us. Wolf Among Us is a good game too. Tales from the Borderlands, that's a really good game. Like, I thought there's like nothing over here. So I just made this trip back for nothing. Like, he doesn't even say anything cool. What the hell? Whatever. Thank you to Beard for the follow. Maybe I'll have to stream some of the the Telltale games. Get a good enough audience, maybe. Let you guys decide what happens. I've tried that before with people that aren't really into it. Telltale Minecraft sucks. I only played the first episode of Telltale Minecraft. I've heard it has had very, very mixed reviews. Bo Lou Boy. Okay, so Bo Lou Boy. Bo Lou Boy. Alright, we'll go with that. Is this game any good? I'm enjoying it. Like I said earlier, if you enjoy like walking narratives where like there's not much action, it's just exploration, this game's really good. It's $10 at the moment, 20% off, so it's $8 if it's still that. I believe it is. For $8, I don't think this game's that bad. So it's also very short. Like, I'm on the last level right now, and I've only been streaming for an hour. but you do need to play through the game twice if you want to hear both the regular story and the developer's commentary. And achievements are easy if you're into that. But overall, if you want the most for the bang for your buck, if you like walking in like good narrative stories, if you're like a movie guy, this game's like an interactive movie pretty much. Yeah, it's sort of like Lifeless Planet. Didn't mean to get super loud there, but it's sort of like Lifeless Planet. Same. There's no puzzles or anything in this game. At least I haven't found any. And there's no danger. Like, you can die by falling, but there's a lot of places that are just... you can die by falling and by drowning. But
There were chemical diagrams on the posters on the walls on the waiting room. It seemed appropriate at the time. Still life abstractions of the processes which had already begun to break down your nerves and your muscles in the next room. I crammed diazepam as I once crammed for chemistry examinations. I am revising my options for a long and happy life.
like the 400 Days story, Paul. I've been playing through the regular Walking Dead, and I just got to chapter 5. Pretty good. Telltale has one of my.
From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
Yeah, he's crazy and diazepam, yeah. That was a lot like the beginning of the game. Really wish this one would open up a little bit more, like you could duck or something. Be interesting what's in there. That reminds me, I need to go back and finish Lifeless Planet. I got like to the second to last level, and then I don't know why I quit playing it.
The pain in my leg sent me blind for a few minutes as I struggled up the cliff path. I swallowed and was lucid. The island around me has retreated to a hazed distance, whilst the moon appears to have descended into my palm to guide me. I can see a thick black line of infection reaching for my heart from the waistband of my trousers. Through the fugue, it's all the world like the path I have cut from the lowlands towards the aerial.
Well, Lifeless is awesome. I really enjoyed the parts I have played of it. I really enjoyed like the the like barren wastelands. That they do it really well in that game, and like the nature of how small you are compared to other objects in there. Like I feel they did really well with
I've begun my
that.
voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
Thank you for the follow, Bella Boy. Oh, Lou Boy. I also feel Lifeless did the needing for oxygen in a planet that is unknown really well, where it wouldn't go out too quick, but you always had to maintain how it was going. Ooh. First lag spike I've got in the game. There.
If only Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection. Returning to my car afterwards, hands still shaking, and a head split open by the impact. Goodbye to tearful aunts and traumatized uncles. Goodbye to the phenomenal. Goodbye to the tangible. Goodbye Wolverhampton. Goodbye Sanford. Goodbye Cromer. Goodbye Damascus. This cliff path is slippery in the dew. It is hard to climb with such an infection. I must carve out the bad flesh and sling it from the aerial. I must become infused with the very air.
I'm not sure if it's based on a book. I can look it up. I can tell you guys before it's over, but I'm not sure. Again, if we get to a like loading screen or a long cutscene, I can look that up for you guys and let you know.
I have dredged these waters for the bones of the hermit, for the traces of Donnelly, for any sign of Jakobsen's flock, for the empty bottle that would incriminate him. I have scoured this stretch of motorway 21 times, attempting to recreate his trajectory, the point when his heart stopped dead and all he saw was the moon over the Sanford Junction. He was not drunk, Esther. He was not drunk at all, and it was not his fault. It was the converging lines that doomed him. This is not a recorded natural condition. The gulls do not fly so low over the motorway and cause him to swerve. The paint scored away from his car in lines like an infection, making directly for the heart.
This is the beacon we've been looking for the whole time. Cool, cool. I've been live.
Vapor trails in the air, white lines etched into these rocks.
I just want to say this too, that like 20 some people that stayed here the whole time,
Dear Esther,
thank you.
I have
You guys are
burnt
awesome.
my belongings, my books, this death certificate. Mine will be written all across this island. Who was Jakobsen? Who remembers him? Donnelly has written of him, but who was Donnelly? Who remembers him? I have painted, carved, hewn, scored into this space all that I could draw from him. There will be another to these shores to remember me. I will rise from the ocean like an island without bottom, come together like a stone, become an aerial, a beacon, that they will not forget you. We have always been drawn here. One day the gulls will return and nest in our bones and our history. I will look to my left and see Esther Donnelly flying beside me. I will look to my right and see Paul Jakobsen flying beside me. They will leave white lines carved into the air to reach the mainland, where help will be sent.
That's pretty high up. You sure that was the best idea to jump? Yeah, maybe not. Maybe jumping from that height wasn't the best. There's rocks down there. There's a lot of rocks down there. You're nowhere close to water. Oh, you can just fly. Okay. And we can fly, guys, the whole time. Why didn't I just fly to the top in the first place? I believe this is the end of Dear Esther. We will find out.
Come back.
No, it's not based on a book. Well, guys, that is the end of Dear Esther. Thank you all that stayed by and watched the whole thing. Now, I have one thing to ask of you guys. My boss, I guess, at Player 2 Reviews, Ed, is doing a stream on Firewatch it right now. And I will provide the link if you guys would like to go check that out. I would really appreciate it. He would really appreciate it. And if you guys do go to check out his stream, just tell him King sent you. Paul, thank you for the thank you for the follow. From what I see, and what I interpreted from it, no, he did not find his wife. And from earlier question, I believe the main protagonist might be already either dead or he is hallucinating all this. I believe the boat wreck that was found earlier in the game is like a big issue with that. But I'm not sure if he was a boat hand and died in the crash with everybody else and he's looking for his wife. I don't know if his wife was ever on this island or what, but if you guys would like to, anyone that still wants me to stay here and talk, I'll talk for a little bit longer. But I've included a link in the chat of Ed's stream playing Firewatch, like I said, another game that's sort of in the vein of this. He started only like 10 minutes ago. If you guys want to go check that out, go right ahead. And if you do, tell him that Kings or Brett sent you. He'll understand what you meant by either of them. But if all 20 of you guys or so that are here still watching this want to go over, go ahead. If one of you do, go ahead. If none of you guys do, if you're busy, go ahead. But I would really appreciate it. I'm sure he would really appreciate it. And again, thank you guys for all watching me play Dear Esther. It was fun. Play. Yeah, it was nice talking to you guys. So if you guys want to come back, I'll probably be streaming Virginia tomorrow. Tomorrow's when it comes out. Wednesday, whatever day it comes out. Today is Wednesday. I think it comes out tomorrow, so either tomorrow or Friday I'll probably be streaming it. So if you guys would like to watch that, just be sure to check your email. Everybody that followed me, check your email. Paul, if you want Firewatch, it's $20, so that's not a bad price too. Looks pretty nice. I don't know if it's a shorter game or not, but like I said, Ed's playing Firewatch. If any of you guys want to go watch, go to the chat, tell him King sent you, Brett sent you, whatever. I'm sure he'd really appreciate it. But again, thank you guys. This has been Kings signing off. I'll see you guys next time. That's good. Yeah, you can get exempted easily.